Howdy everyone, and welcome to this Football Manager 2018 tactics video. Those of you that watched my Manchester City FM18 video will know how effective this tactic was. I went the entire first season with Man City unbeaten in all competitions. I won everything that I was in. Pretty unbelievable stuff. Now, I have put a link to this tactic in the description below so you can download it for yourself. I've called it Invincible. I literally just stumbled across this. It was the first thing I tried on Football Manager. I literally set this formation up. This is what I thought it would. It really was luck of the draw. I just laid out the players. They're not even in any particularly sensible order. It is an asymmetric tactic. We've got Bernardo Silva as an inside forward, much further up the field compared to Sané on the left-hand side. We've got Sterling. Usually it was David Silva playing behind Aguero as an advanced playmaker, but just on that left-hand side. De Bruyne as a roaming playmaker on the right-hand side of the central midfield area with Fernandinho playing behind. It is a very attacking tactic. I will walk you through it in a little bit more detail and try and explain why I decided to do it this way, if there is a reason why I did it that way. Now, there's no guarantee this will work for you. This is Manchester City. They are an incredibly powerful team on the game. They've got the likes of Aguero, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. Probably the three best players for me in the Man City team on this game anyway. You might think differently in real life, but they are phenomenal. And that is a big help. Perhaps this tactic will only work with Man City or really powerful teams. It might not work for you. I can't guarantee that. But I hope it's not a fluke. But to win or draw every single game this season, I think is pretty impressive. If you want to have a look at the tactic in action for an entire match, go and watch my Man City video, because I did play the Champions League final during that video, and we won 5-0 against Barcelona, arguably the best team in the world. They're more Real Madrid. But much for muchness, we proved that we are a very, very good team, and we proved that this tactic is pretty impressive by winning 5-0 in a final. Probably my biggest ever win in a Champions League final on Football Manager. We beat Chelsea in the FA Cup final 2-0. We won the Carabao Cup. It was against Derby County. Where is it? Here, 3-0. We cantered away with the league, finishing 18 points clear of Manchester United. Sergio Aguero finished on 35 goals for the season. De Bruyne, look at that, 7.81 average rating, top of the charts there. Aguero second. Aguero most man of the matches. Lots of clean sheets as well. We weren't exactly leaky at the back. Edison was fantastic. Really solid goalkeeper. I mean, his current ability, according to my assistant, is the same as Claudio Bravo, but he is a very good keeper and he's exceptional at distributions. 20 on kicking really helped this, I think. We will have a look at play instructions in more detail in a second, but let's just go back to the tactic, the formation. You might be wondering why I decided to do this, but it really was just putting the players down on the pitch in the positions I wanted them to play. And then we've got this new system on Football Manager where you've got this discoloration of the pitch, green, or it can be brown depending on the player. I'll just move this guy here, for example. It makes this brown because you're not covering that position. So I basically tried to make it as green as possible, so we're covering every blade of grass. There's no brown squares on here. I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but it worked for me. If we just turn the analysis tab off, that's just the old style look. But I do like this. I find it useful because it just shows you where you are weak and you've not got much cover there. So that helped, and that's why I ended up with this. I wanted Bernardo Silva playing as an inside forward. I thought he would be pretty deadly in that position. He's got great dribbling attributes. Crossing is good, but as an inside forward, I thought it'd be more effective. He's okay. He's decent at finishing. 14, composure's strong, decent off the ball. So he just works well as that inside forward. So I wanted to get the best out of him on that right hand side. He's not the paciest winger in the world, but as an inside forward, it probably doesn't matter quite the same. Aguero up front as a trequartista was a revelation. 55 goals this season in all competitions is absolutely ridiculous in 49 starts and 9 sub-appearances. That is basically the level that Messi and Ronaldo score. I think he scored a goal every 83 minutes in the league. And I wanted to play him in his preferred role, which is a trequartista. Gave it a go, and it worked wonders. It did mean having a player at left wing that perhaps isn't quite as natural. Sané would prefer to play further up the field, as would Sterling. Those two kind of alternated on that left wing position. Sterling did play here, deputising for David Silva on a few occasions. Gabriel Jesus was our backup striker or inside forward. He didn't play particularly well, to be honest. He only managed to get 6 goals all season in his appearances, so he didn't quite fit into this tactic as much as I was hoping for. But it didn't matter because Aguero, I was fortunate that he didn't pick up any serious injuries. He picked up lots of niggles, sort of 1 to 3 days out. I think he missed the odd week here and there, but luckily it was during perhaps a Capital One Cup or Carabao Cup games or international breaks. It didn't quite matter so much. I did have quite a few injuries. I don't know if that's because Football Manager 2018 has this new medical centre and it picks up on all the sort of light injuries a bit more nowadays. Is there a way to look at how many injuries we had in one season summary? So here we go. See, Sané did pick up a lot of injuries. He missed 4 months, so Sterling was deputising for him at left wing quite a lot. Gundogan, he's injury prone. He did pick up a few injuries. In fact, 6 injuries amounting to 7. You can see here Aguero is injury prone, but fortunately only missed 5 weeks in total during the season, and I think a couple of them were during the international break. If I just go to the top, Delph had a really bad injury, as did Toure. Kompany always misses games, doesn't he? 3 months out. So I did have a lot of injuries here. There was actually only 6 players that didn't pick up a single injury in the first team squad. Now, I did mention on my Man City video that I think what helped the team was the fact that I had a small squad, and with the new team dynamics aspect of the game, I think it's a great feature, but it could be problematic in that you might have players falling out with you a bit more or falling out with each other because of these social groups. So by having a small squad, it had a less of an impact on me. I did have a few players, I think Mendy, Gundogan and Yaya Toure came to me moaning that they weren't in the first team. They did play games, but they weren't first choice. Toure and Gundogan did actually ask to move, but I was unable to sell them in the January transfer window. And just as well, really, because I had such a small squad. I only signed one player, by the way, which was David Alaba, for £100 million. It was 60 million up front, 40 million in instalments. I really wanted to get an improvement on Mendy, as we only had him as a left back. Danilo could play there, but I wanted him to be backup for Walker, so I wanted to get a really good first choice left back, and Alaba was that man. He was fantastic in that position. So going back to the tactic, you can see we had a very high ball playing element to the game. We had the two centre backs as ball playing defenders. John Stones and Kompany are perfect for those roles. So if you try this tactic with a team that does not have ball playing defenders, you might not be as successful at playing out from the back, I suppose. Otamendi was decent in that role. He isn't perfect in that role, but he's not bad, and he did a good job when he was filling in for Kompany in particular. Edison, sweeper keeper. I did have him as a normal goalkeeper to start with. I switched him to sweeper keeper support. That is his preferred role, and he does suit it perfectly. If we just go to his player instructions in particular, you can see I've selected take short kicks and distribute quickly. He's got more risky passes on. That's just part of being a sweeper keeper, and it worked brilliantly because we often would play out from the back, charge up the pitch with our pacey play, and score goals. Going back to team instructions though, just before we look at all the other player instructions, you can see it's very attacking football. We've got attacking, that's our philosophy there. We've got play out of defence, pass into space, mixed passing, be more expressive. Didn't go for short passing. We still want to have some risky long passes at times because we have the ability to do that. Closing down was on much more, just really intense football, quite aggressive in winning the ball back, I suppose. We did pick up quite a few red cards during the season and yellow cards as well. So we did have quite a few suspensions to deal with, as well as those injuries. But it didn't really matter. We still won games when we were down to 10 men, or drew games. We had some close calls. We did come close to losing on a couple of occasions, but we managed to recover. Higher tempo as well, fluid. It really is high intensity, high risk football. But when you've got the players to play these roles and this style of play, it works brilliantly. If you tried it with Brighton, I don't think you'd be successful. So this isn't the tactic you want to play when you're playing with a bottom of the table team or a team in League 2, for example, because you're just not going to have the players to fit this system. But if you are playing with a big team, if you've got to the top, I would hope that this will work for you. But like I said, there's no guarantee. Of course, this is the beta. It might change. The game might be just fine-tuned a bit. If you're watching this video in June 2018, this tactic might be completely useless for you by that point. Player instructions then, we've got the fullbacks on attacking. Fullback attack, that's what I went for. I didn't go for wing-back attack, I just went for standard fullback, but put them on attack. There was no player instructions here apart from the ones that they standard have. And it's same with the ball-playing defenders. In fact, maybe Edison is the only player that I actually added personal instructions for. Fernandinho, dribble less, hold position, close down more. That's just a standard defensive midfield defense position. I decided to go for that. I didn't want him as another playmaker. We've already got an advanced playmaker and a Roman playmaker in this team. I just wanted someone to sit there. I did try and sign Kante in January, but I didn't have enough money. I kind of want a really, really good defensive midfielder here. If I was to go into the future, then I would certainly buy someone. Probably won't do any more seasons with this because I feel like I've completed it already. And Fernandinho's contract's up actually, and he had a work permit rejected, so I think he's off. So I would have to replace him. I'm sure I could find someone. I think the board gave me £210 million to spend in the second season, so there's no problem there. But like I said, probably won't go any more seasons into the future. Now this is the key man. Kevin De Bruyne is, I believe, the correct way to pronounce it. That's what the Man City commentator said. I always thought it was De Bruyne, but according to people, it's De Bruyne. Fair enough. Anyway, I digress there. He is the key man as the Roman playmaker. It doesn't suit him perfectly. He'd much rather play as an advanced playmaker. In fact, he'd much rather play here, I think, in Sterling's position or possibly on the wing. But as we've seen in real life, Guardiola has converted him into this brilliant central midfield, complete central midfielder. And as a Roman playmaker, he's really, really good, I must say. And exceptional player. Then on the left we've got Sané as a winger. I don't think he's got any particular instructions apart from the ones that are just standard with his role. Bernardo Silva the same, just standard. Edison I think is the only player to have special instructions that aren't already chosen for him by the role. Set pieces wise, I did a few things, but I haven't really played around with the set pieces that much. If I just show you my corners, how do I look at corners? Here we go. I didn't do anything with defending corners. This is something I could probably improve, or you might want to improve when you do download the tactic. But with attacking, this is what I did on the right hand side. It was just hit or miss. It worked. I did score from corners. And we had a guy coming short. We had Aguero lurking outside the box, or in fact attack ball from deep. We had the right midfielder in De Bruyne who would have been there, but he usually took the corners, so I didn't generally have a player lurking outside the box. We had the two centre-backs attacking the near and far post, and then everyone else was just forward. So nothing particularly special there. The other side I did do something a bit different. We still had Aguero, but he was lurking outside the box. Centre-backs going in to the posts. This would have been usually David Silva on the far post, and Bernardo Silva attacking the keeper. I'm not very good at set pieces. I'm still playing around. It has changed a bit on the game as well, because you can select multiple different routines as well here. So you can have a play around with that if you want. We were completely clinical. You can see here against Barcelona in the Champions League final, we didn't even have the most possession here, but going forwards, more shots on target. It was all about producing chances, really. You can see here, key chances created. Sané created lots. De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. Aguero was just insane. He got assists as well as goals this season and created key chances. It really was just unbelievable going forwards. Compare that with Barcelona. Suarez created a couple key chances, but they were just completely out of it. We were all over them in this game. I'll show you a goal as well from the FA Cup final against Chelsea. It was in the injury time and it killed them off. They still had a chance of getting back into this at this point, but we killed them off in the 91st minute through Aguero's second goal. Possession was always pretty equal in our matches. We had 52% in this match, but this was fantastic build-up play, and it just actually proves a point as to how we played on them most times, really, when we had the ball. Here's Sané getting out of a tricky situation. De Bruyne into Yaya Toure, who came on late in the game. And then it was all about the overlapping fullbacks. Alaba and Walker were fantastic at getting past the wingers for us and putting deadly balls into the box time after time. And that was what we were all about, really. So thanks for watching today's video. Please hit that like button if you found it interesting and useful. If you want to download the tactic, it's in the description below. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already for more Football Manager 2018 content. Currently doing a beta save with Napoli. That will last 1 or 2 seasons. And then the main save will start when the full game comes out. So haven't decided that yet. That's still a mystery. But you've got that to look forwards to. Until next time, enjoy Football Manager 2018. I'll see you very soon.